The heat and the sun over the weekend was awesome, but it brought out a quandary, especially for people who like to go hike mountains. Where to hike this time of year? It was dry as a bone at my house, but I know up in the Adirondacks, conditions are rough and maybe even dangerous at times. Spines of corroding snow, rivers of melt making stream crossings impossible, and mud that can really devastate a trail when we walk on it. The DEC says no hiking above 2,500 feet for now. So where to go? There are some good, lower, drier spring hikes: Panther, Castle Rock, Catamount. Our Adirondack reporter, Emily Russell, takes us to one I had never heard of before. Find out where on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Pearsall Wealth Management at UBS Wealth Management USA, subsidiary UBS AG, member FINRA SIPC, 1 Broad Street, Glens Falls. And Claxton Hepburn Medical Center, dedicated to providing patient care and regional services to the people of St. Lawrence County. ClaxtonHepburn.org.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Monday, April 17th. First up, forest rangers and other emergency responders have been fighting nearly 20 wildfires around New York State in recent days. There have been blazes in the Capital Region, out in western New York, as well as in Rockland and Orange counties just north of New York City, burning more than 400 acres statewide. One elementary school in Orange County stayed closed today due to smoke conditions. There's a statewide burn ban in effect through May 14th. Illegally burning yard debris is the leading cause of spring wildfires in New York. New York tax collections were better than expected this year, but they still fell short of last year. Controller Tom DiNapoli says collections totaled nearly $112 billion this fiscal year, with about half of that total from income tax. Overall, they were nearly $3 billion ahead of state projections, but $9.5 billion lower than the previous year. DiNapoli says the decline was largely due to a decrease in personal income tax collections as a result of the pandemic. Business tax receipts increased nearly 25% to $20 billion, and consumer and consumption and use tax income was up nearly 5% to almost $30 billion. The village of Massena is putting out a call for financial help to fix up its Veterans Memorial Park right downtown along the banks of the Grasse River. Lucy Grindon has the story.
Veterans Memorial Park is popular for all kinds of community events.
There's summertime concerts there. People have weddings. Just all kinds of, community get-togethers.
That's Marty Miller. He's Massena's public works superintendent. Just last week, the city put out a call asking for donations. And one day last week, Miller was out walking in the park, assessing the work it needs. And a guy came up to him and offered him money to help with the repairs.
Well, he come up to me and he says, I want to give money for this. And I just looked at him and I said, you want to give money for? Because, yeah, it needs to be done.
The park needs a lot of work.
The drainage has failed. We have ponding water down at the base of the park.
The park also needs new retaining walls to stop erosion, but that will cost a lot of money.
We're looking at, probably 6 figures.
The village is asking local businesses and organizations for financial help. They're also just asking individual community members to pitch in. Miller says he hopes they'll get the help they need because ultimately the park is there to honor veterans.
It's a site for the community, a place to honor, reflect, and remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice for the country, and as well as to honor those who are serving today. And I think it's important for every community to have, a park of this nature.
He says it was heartening to have that one man offer a donation to him in the park.
Hopefully that's going to be the norm of this, and hopefully we can get all the help we can, to get it up and back into shape.
The Public Works Department is planning to start work on the project this summer. Miller says they hope to finish within 2 years. Lucy Grindon, North Country Public Radio.
Despite all that sun and heat over the weekend, it is mud season in the Adirondacks. State officials are urging hikers to avoid climbing above 2,500 feet while the trails dry out. The good news is there are lots of places to hike at lower elevations. Our Adirondack reporter Emily Russell found beautiful views and lots of birds on Hackensack Mountain in Warrensburg. She sent this audio postcard.
It's been decades since I hiked this trail up Hackensack. There's a photo of me as a kid. We'd hike some of these local mountains around Glens Falls where I grew up for birthday parties, and I don't really have any memory of being up here, so hiking this today is like just a totally new experience.
It's kind of nice to be out here and feel like I'm seeing this place for the first time. My shoes crunch through the snow that's clung on in the cold shadows of the mountain. But having no memory of hiking here also leads me to get a little lost at the start.
I'm on the trail up to the summit now, and I gotta say I made like 4 wrong turns before I got here. There are truck or ATV trails that go around the mountain, and it's easy to take the wrong turn.
Once you take the right turn, though, it's pretty obvious. The trail climbs up the steep side of the mountain. Good news is there's no snow or ice or even mud on this section, so traction isn't a problem. Plus, the higher I get, the more the world around me wakes up.
This is so amazing. I'm standing here on the trail, and it's just like this chorus of wildlife around me. Chipmunks and birds. My dog out exploring. It's so beautiful. This is such a cool trail because it really just rises like directly above Warrensburg. And so it's going to give me this super cool and close perspective of this community that's just so beautiful right on the edge of the Adirondacks.
I grip roots and rocks and haul myself higher up the mountain. There's a moment when the woods fall silent except for one lone woodpecker searching for food.
The trail has become really dynamic, like just these big, sharp boulders. So I'm having to hop from one to another.
Eventually, the trail becomes just one long shelf of rock. It guides me up and around the edge of the summit, which is awash in sunlight.
I'm walking out onto the ledge here at the summit, looking down over Warrensburg, and you can hear the car traffic below me. But wow, this is so stunning. Oh my gosh. Just mountains all around, but you can see little churches and shops and homes, and there's birds flying above me. This is just so special. Emily Russell, North Country Public Radio on the summit of Hackensack Mountain above Warrensburg.
You can find photos of Emily's beautiful hike up Hackensack Mountain at our website, ncpr.org. Also, again, a reminder, state officials are urging hikers to avoid trails above 2,500 feet during mud season. We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Pat Johnson of Athens, Ontario, and Daniel Kelly and Gretchen Kohler of Potsdam. I'm David Sommerstein, North Country Public Radio.